Hello and welcome to yet another review, and today we'll go back to the audio gadget, and today I want to tell you about the updated version of FiiO's 3-in-1 device BTR30 that they named BTR30 Pro. This gadget was released somewhere at the end of 2021, and of course I should review it earlier, but unfortunately due to war I had to reduce the frequency of my reviews, so just now I finally came across this gadget digging my queue. And actually FiiO's BTR30 was a really great device because it offered a lot of functionality with affordable price. It was a Bluetooth transmitter and receiver that was pretty useful, but due to its component base it was limited in terms of codecs, in terms of modes and so on. And also it was built with a K4490 digital tonal converter chip, so obviously FiiO had to switch to another chip, and they took that chance to redesign this device and make it more modern. Now here used the 9030A digital tonal converter. They also added XMOS USB interface, they added Qualcomm chip for Bluetooth transmission and receiving. They improved the set of codecs. It supports now aptX low latency, and it supports LDAC both for transmission and receiving, and this device has many more features. Price is slightly higher, but $130 or $140, it's roughly the price of this device. I think it's still pretty good price for that set of features. And actually let's have a closer look. In terms of package, it's FiiO's traditional design with nice foiling, looks pretty attractive, with minimum details, just list of supported codecs, not all of them, but just that worth mentioning. And inside you'll get gadget itself and a box with a set of accessories. So here actually box is pretty heavy, so not lot of things, but something we'll get. Some 3M sticky fits to glue to the bottom, actually to replace the ones that already glued. Also you'll get USB type A to USB type C cable and a set of RCA cables. That's it. And here is the device itself. In terms of design, it looks pretty attractive, compact, nice combination of aluminum and plastic, looks pretty fancy. So small, but stands nicely on the table, and actually it fits to almost any audio setup. Either you're using some active speakers, for example, or some power amplifier, or anything else. So you can easily combine it with FiiO's K5 Pro that I recently reviewed, or you can use it with almost any other digital tonal converter or other device. So let's see what we've got here. So on the front panel there is on-off button that you can also use to change the inputs. Also here is the playback pause button, and also you can use it to toggle low latency and HD. And here is mode toggle, so there are 3 modes: Bluetooth receiver, Bluetooth transmitter and digital tonal converter. And volume control, nice knob with smooth rotation. Also FiiO added more LEDs on the top panel to provide better feedback to the user, different selected inputs and status, changing colors depending on codecs and so on. And also, as you can see, there is a bypass mode, so if I understood right the manual, it can transmit the signal from input to some output and at the same time transmit it via Bluetooth. On the back side you'll get USB input and it will also be used to power this device. It doesn't have own battery, so it's not a portable device. 2 optical input and output, 2 optical sockets, coaxial input and output, and the line out if you want to use it in digital tonal converter mode. So You can use it as a Bluetooth receiver. It will receive the signal and transmit to any of outputs available here. It can be used as a Bluetooth transmitter. You can connect it, for example, via USB and transmit LDAC signal or something like that. And it can be used as digital to analog converter. You can connect it via one of the inputs and connect it to the line out and use it this way. And as you can easily understand by this set of controls and inputs outputs, it can be also used as a media hub to switch between different inputs outputs to connect your different devices in your media center. As you can see, nice design, compact and pretty stylish looking gadget. So that's how it looks connected to the power. You can press the on-off button, hold it for a few seconds and it will turn on depending on the mode you selected. Now it's in Bluetooth receiver mode, so actually it's waiting for connection. It's connected to my FiiO M11 Pro and short blinking means that source is connected. And via this button you can enable low latency mode or turn back to the other codecs. Double pressing this button will activate mode when only SBC and aptX low latency codecs are working. It's necessary, for example, if you want to watch some video, and in this case of course delay is really low, but it also depends of course on your headphones, for example. In the Bluetooth transmitter mode we turn it and after a few seconds it will reboot in the Bluetooth transmitter mode, and via short presses of this button we can select necessary inputs that we'd like to use. And same applies to the digital to analog converter mode. Toggle it and after a few seconds it will be waiting connection on this input, outputting signal to different outs. But let's go back to the receiver mode. It will reboot, will connect to my player, and I wanted to show that it also can be controlled via the FiiO link in the FiiO player. So it reads the settings of the device itself, and here it familiar application, so it shows the device itself, firmware version and the device name. You can select automatic power on, indicator lights if you don't want to see them, and USB audio version. If you want to connect it to some old device, you can select version 1.0, but at the same time you lose higher resolution support, because here used XMOS and 9038, so it supports high resolution, DSD and stuff, but of course in the 2.0 mode. Here are settings for the receiver and digital to analog converter mode. You can select Bluetooth codecs, you can disable the ones you don't need. You can select digital to analog converter input source, one of 4 available. You can select low pass filters available for this chip, and volume control mode, adjustable or fixed. If you have, for example, amplifier with own volume control, you can adjust volume on it. Volume of device means volume of its built-in sounds. Adjustable volume for SPDIF out, channel balance, and digital upsampling. So it has built-in upsampler. If you want, you can experiment with these settings. Sometimes it gives better results. Also, here is settings for the transmitter mode. You can select input used to transmitter codecs. For the LDAC you can select streaming quality, adaptive or audio quality, connection first, and also settings for the volume control. And also it has a user manual, actually pretty detailed and nice, so operating guide is the source of answers for different kinds of questions. And also here in the settings, let me tap it properly, you can select custom device name, clear pairing, restore to default settings, and power it off. As you can see, nice, good basic set of features, and actually good operation, good set of controls, modes, and so on. Absolutely universal device in this aspect. And a few words about the sound. At the end, its audio reviews aren't in both Bluetooth modes it's basically transparent. I mean not in terms of absolute transparent reproduction of sound, but I mean device itself is transparent, and only impact you'll get it will be caused by the Bluetooth codecs. You lose some resolution, you lose some stage, bit of definition, less with LDAC codecs, more with SBC, but actually only impact on sound will be caused by the Bluetooth lossy codecs itself. And the sound will depend on the end device you'll be using. If you will use it in the transmitter mode, it will depend on your headphones or earphones, and actually it's probably the best transmission option possible on the market, or at least one of the best, of course, so everything will depend on your headphones and the earphones. And in Bluetooth receiver mode, everything will depend on what you will connect to it. Digital tonal converter or amplifier, so what you will connect will receive the signal slightly spoiled by the lossy codecs and will play it as it can. And the only possible sound description is actually for the digital to analog converter mode, and it's good. It's sharp, clean, transparent, slightly focused on the micro contrast, sounding a bit more on the analytical side, like kind of audiophilic representation. But in general, resolution is pretty good on the whole sonic spectrum. Of course, it's lacking audiophilic treble extension, lacking a bit of layering and stuff, but actually for $140 it's really competitive digital tonal converter with extra features for the Bluetooth connectivity. Actually, I can say that to my ears it's pretty comparable with FiiO's own K3. The only thing, unfortunately, it misses its headphones output, but it's not created to be used with headphones, probably that's it. So to summarize everything, you can see that it's a really universal device. It can be considered as a Bluetooth transmitter and receiver with bonus digital to analog converter features, or vice versa. It can be considered as a good digital to analog converter with bonus Bluetooth features, but in any aspect it's a really good competitive device that offers a great price to quality ratio. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.